I am a Wheel of Fortune champion. I never called an incorrect letter, never had an unlucky spin on the wheel, missed only one toss-up puzzle, and walked away with $113,000 in winnings, $62,000 cash, a new BMW, and a trip to Barbados. I actually watched that episode when it aired, and after all said and done I said that you had to be one of the top winners ever. Congrats. Were the other contestants sad or jealous they were up against a wheel master? I felt bad for Chad all dressed up. I was the very last one out of the studio. The other two guys left during my bonus round. And I stayed by to film a couple of interviews after signing for my prizes. So I didn't get to interact with either of them afterwards. Without getting into too much detail, let's just say that I felt a lot worse for George than I did for Chad. Grinning face with squinting eyes and sweat drop. What did Chad do? Bad body language? Personally insulted my height. I'm 5'6.5". Prior to taping. At least George solved one of the toss-ups and walked with $2,000. Chad looked pissed. I'm glad you did this because I missed the bonus round and was wondering how you ended up. Congrats. Did they ever cut and redo a shot? For instance, does Pat ever mess up what he's saying and have to redo it? Does Pat have a teleprompter? They did a couple of reshoots during the whole taping day, but not because Pat stumbled over his words. The only teleprompter Pat has is the digital scoreboard off stage, which you'll notice him looking at frequently when he does his spiel between rounds. This is where he's getting all of the information about whose turn it is, how much each contestant has won, their prizes, etc. Aside from that, he's just making up his jokes and banter on the fly, and is really funny and makes you feel very at ease under the bright studio lights. I've always thought Pat was the consummate game show host. He is so good at those funny, off-the-cuff, yet harmless one-liners. Merv Griffith said he wanted a host that was like everybody's brother-in-law. How much tax do you have to pay on all of that? I have to pay federal and state tax on everything. Plus local sales tax on the car, as if I had purchased it. I plan to sell the car. Though my stated winnings were $113,055, I estimate that I will end up with about $65,000 in usable cash, plus the trip, once all taxes are paid and the car is sold. My mom was on Wheel of Fortune a while ago and won a trip, which she also had to pay taxes on. She ended up saving a lot by showing the trip was worth much less than the show advertised. The show wants to max that out so it looks like they are giving out more, understandably, but in reality it should have cost much less. She did end up getting audited for this but cleared it up by showing some comparable costs. This was in the 70s though, so not sure if this would still be possible. I feel like a while ago and in the 70s are two very separate time periods lol. My wife was on Fortune and we had to pay roughly 37.5% tax on all winnings. That's about what my back of napkin math came up with, including the other costs of me acquiring and selling the car. I'm expecting about a 40% haircut off the face value of my winnings. How much time does it take to complete an episode? Are you in the studio for hours? I was in the studio from 7:30 AM 6:45 PM. We ran a little late due to technical difficulties. My show was the last of 6 being filmed that day, so I was in it for the long haul. Other contestants got to go home after their episodes were done. Barring no unforeseen glitches, the episode films more or less in real time, though my episode took probably 40-45 minutes to film because of a couple of production technical glitches. Wow. Long day. Thanks for the response. Yeah, it's a very long day, but very well worth it. Lots of paperwork, briefings about the rules, hair makeup, coaching from the production team, a dress rehearsal, etc. Their staff is amazing. They keep everyone happy and well fed throughout the entire thing. We're sequestered in the studio without access to our cell phones the entire time. Long day, but I'd say he was well compensated for it. How much does Chad hate you? Haven't had any contact with him since the show. Didn't even get to say good game or anything to him. Since I was the last one out of the studio that day, I suspect there may be a bit of animosity. Grinning face with squinting eyes and sweat drop. If there is, I suspect that it's all on him. You seem like a nice dude. Congrats on your loot haul. He's more than a nice dude. He saved a fellow singer's life by donating a part of his liver. What happened? Does Wheel ever bring champions back for special rounds the way Jeopardy does? Maybe if they don't, you can suggest it. Winking face with stuck out tongue. They used to have a returning champion format back in the 80s 90s. If you won, you got to return. Up to 5 days. A lot of people on the internet have clamored for a tournament of champions for Wheel, but it's never happened. I'm definitely willing to spearhead the effort, since there have been numerous contestants in recent history that people would love to see again. I was on in 1988, didn't win a thing. Big L on my forehead. I've thought bringing back losers. Q Wheel spins on Bankrupt would be fun. Like the Zonk special for Let's Make a Deal. Let's Make a Deal brings back their big losers. Is Vanna nice as she seems? She is legitimately one of the authentically sweetest human beings I've ever met. She actually came into the green room when we were getting our morning production briefing just to wish us all good luck. She was in street clothes and hadn't done hair makeup yet. What are you planning to do with the money? And do you have much left after taxes? I have to pay federal and state tax on everything, plus local sales tax on the car, as if I had purchased it. I plan to sell the car, although my stated winnings were $113,055. I estimate that I will end up with about $65,000 in usable cash, plus the trip. Once all taxes are paid and the car is sold, I don't get the money in the car until August. So my plans for the money will really be determined by what the world looks like by then. At a minimum, I planned on putting new siding on my home. So there's that. Awesome. Are you going on the trip? Is there a deadline for when you have to go? I plan to book. We have between 365 days from our air date to take the trip. But I've heard from other recent contestants that they are being a little more lenient on the far end of that range because of the ongoing pandemic situation. I'm tentatively planning to go take the trip in January 2021, my birthday, which should also hopefully be enough time for the pandemic to subside. I'm able to reschedule at least once if needed. This is awesome. Congratulations. I would love to hear all about how you became a contestant. Did you do a submission video? Would love to see. I have been wanting to submit something myself, which is why I ask. Thanks. My improbable journey to game show fame started back in September 2019. The Grattan Resort and Casino. https://www.facebook.com/Grattan Casino /?ref=gs /?FSO5WF/DT=DT=08058UIY/BEO/DW/ASMPLIDN2Y32D&/HC_location Owlsgrove, about an hour north of San Francisco, where I was living at the time, was hosting a Wheel mobile event. I didn't get called up on stage, but I happened to be one of the lucky ones whose name was drawn up to the end of the event, earning me a spot at the in-person auditions in late January. The in-person audition was high energy and super fun, and a bit stressful, since I was 10-15 minutes late after sitting through multiple traffic accidents on my 75-mile drive to San Francisco. My hands and jaw were sore from clapping and smiling so much throughout the morning. We did some warm-ups practice, then all took turns playing a mock version of the game before took a 5-minute written test. When it was my turn to call letters, I was able to correctly guess 2 letters in the puzzle in progress. Then I was able to solve Ballot and Pandora S box. I got an awesome WAF hat and a signed headshot of Vanna White as my prize. About 2.5 weeks later, in mid-February, I got the magic letter in the mail informing me that I had been chosen for the show, and to await a call from the production team to inform me when my taping date would be, which could have been anywhere from a few weeks to 18 months out. It wasn't too much longer that they called and asked if I could come down and be in the studio on the 12th of March. I accepted without hesitation. From that point on, I started playing a lot of https://www.facebook.com/The Wheel of Fortune game. /ref equals gs ampersand amp semicolon underscore tn equals %2cdk-r ampersand amp semicolon equals a ckgz2mmo-wlapuh1u108kq underscore 5jqrfz-x8 underscore pr pux lig xtdmfbxwb23rj86daxxylx40-zvk underscore 2hroed x ampersand amp semicolon fref equals gs ampersand amp semicolon dt equals to 08051293452118 ampersand amp hc location equals group he mobile game on my phone for practice. Probably an unhealthy amount. To be honest, you should totally submit a video. That's how recent darling contestant Christian Dixie made it to the show.